It's video request time. What's up, guys? Today we have a power antenna from a Nissan Maxima, and I received a request from a viewer asking if I can show how to remove this from a vehicle. Really not a bad job. You do everything directly from the trunk. You have a couple bolts to remove. It's a little cramped, but really is not that bad. So that being said, let's go ahead and let's begin. Now before we begin, of course, we need to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. So first step is we have this cover that we need to remove. Just go ahead, there's a tab on top. Just push down the tab, pull back the cover, and then, let me just take the camera out here. And then there's this large cover that runs the back, in this case the back passenger side of the trunk. So you need to remove this entire cover. And it's held on by these plastic tabs, which I don't even have on here anymore, as you can see. But there's another one also, or there would be one right there as well. So you just remove the plastic tabs from here. Now if you break them, don't worry about them. You can pick them up from AutoZone, for example, and just get replacement ones. And then you have another guy right here. This just turns counterclockwise. And just pull out the tab here, like so. And then we have the trunk mat. Just peel it back for a second. And then, let me just restrain this camera. What we're going to do is remove this entire cover. Now of course here we have the floor jack. Just remove it from its mount. And then what I like to do is remove the jack mount from the vehicle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm bolts. We're going to remove all 4 of these suckers and remove this mount out of the way. This gives us clear access to the antenna, which lives right around here in the vehicle. Now to the rear of the vehicle we have this antenna nut. What I'm going to use is a needle nose plier, and as you can tell I wrapped the ends with electrical tape. The reason behind that is because I don't want to mark up this chrome here. So just go ahead, insert, you have these 2 tabs on top. Just insert the pliers in the tabs and then just turn counterclockwise. Okay? So again, just turn it, place it in there. And it's a little bit more difficult when you do place the tape on it, but if you really don't care about the finish, you can just use a pair of pliers, but I just don't want to scratch anything up. And once it's loose enough, you can just remove with your hand. And there we go. Now back in the trunk we have these 2 10mm bolts that we need to remove. And as you can see, there's a tab here, so we're going to take the antenna and push the antenna toward the front of the vehicle, and that will untab it from the mount. So I'll just zoom out here so you guys can see this. And then of course, let me just make sure you guys can see this, okay? Of course you have a tab right here, and on top there's a little mount that you would press in right here. So just press it in with your thumb. And then you have this black wire going to the antenna. What you want to do, there's a connection point right here. You can actually see where it connects. And it's a little tight in there, so just be a little patient. And there you go. And then you just remove the antenna right from the vehicle. And then it's just the complete opposite to reinstall. Just go ahead, place the antenna. Here's your drain tube. Okay, so this you have to make sure, just look down and you have to make sure that this is exiting toward the bottom of the vehicle. So I'm going to grab our connection here. And don't forget your electrical harness right here. And then again, make sure this tab there we go, goes in its mount. And there you go. It's really nice to have this tab because it just centers everything and you don't have to hold on to it. You can start reapplying your bolts. Don't over tighten these guys, just until they're snug. And then we have to reinstall our jack mount here. And when you reinstall this mount, just make sure you watch out for this wire. Sometimes it can hang a little low, and when you reinstall the mount, you don't want to nick it. And then we have this lower mount down here. I'll just loosely attach this bolt, and then get these other guys on here. And as you can tell, there was one bolt down here at one point in time, but it broke off throughout the years, so that happens with these older vehicles. And then of course just go ahead and reinstall the jack here. Then we have our cover. And like I said earlier, you can grab these replacement tabs pretty much at any auto parts supplier because they break all the time. And then of course, don't forget you need to thread in your antenna bolt. And then of course we have the cover for the jack. And that's it.